Welcome to Prince George's County Call Transfer Training. Starting October 2022, some 911 calls in Prince George's County will be transferred to a behavioral health response rather than to the police or fire EMS. If you are a first responder in the county, including a police officer, firefighter EMT, sheriff deputy, 911 call taker and dispatcher, 988 lifeline responder, or a behavioral health mobile response team member, you would benefit from watching this training. By the end of this training, you will understand the 911 Behavioral Health Integration Program fundamentals, how to use the one-page quick reference guides, and be familiarized with a few scenarios that will illustrate how the program will play out in specific cases. Through this training, we'll have 6 modules. In Module 1, let's look at the fundamental relationship in the integration program between 911 and 988. 911 in Prince George's County receives thousands of calls each week. Some of these calls are neither violent nor criminal in nature, but reflect an underlying behavioral health challenge, such as depression or addiction. The goal of the 911 Behavioral Health Integration Program is to offer a better fit response to such calls than traditional police response. For phone-based or in-person behavioral health assistance, callers will be connected to the local 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. Since July 2022, 988 is the new 3-digit number to access mental health services. While 988 is new, the underlying local call center it reaches is not. CCSI has run the call center for decades, formerly known as the 211+1 or the Crisis Hotline. Through this training, the 988 Lifeline will be referred to simply as 988. Now let's see how 911 calls related to mental health should flow to behavioral health service providers. First, the 911 call taker will determine if a call is mental health related and does not involve an immediate danger or injury to anyone. Then the call taker will transfer the call to 988. CCSI runs 988 locally. They will provide phone-based support. If phone-based support is not sufficient to help resolve the crisis, they will refer the call to the county's mobile response team for a rapid in-person response wherever the person in crisis is located. Mobile response will help the person stabilize in place, if possible, and can refer people to and transport them to other resources. The Behavioral Health Integration Program allows calls to be transferred from 911 to 988. It aims to accomplish 3 things. First, the best fit care possible for the kind of crisis a person is facing, which often may not be a police response. Second, free up police for violent and criminal calls, while also decreasing the frequency with which an armed person responds to an unarmed person in a mental health crisis. Third, decrease the use of hospital emergency rooms for behavioral health crises, when a professional mobile response team is capable of helping someone stabilize in their own home or location. So how is this program designed? Well, in 2020, the county's Police Reform Working Group provided the original recommendation to expand the 911 response options. In October 2021, a second working group designed this particular integration program. The group was composed of delegates from each of the major agencies in the county's first response ecosystem, including police, fire EMS, sheriff's office, 911, health department, and behavioral health response partners. The program was designed collaboratively by the group as part of the broader crisis care continuum being designed in the county. Now, let's hear a word from the county's 911 call center.
Hello, I'm Charlene Flaherty, Office of Homeland Security Deputy Director, supporting the Prince George's County 911 Center. I'm pleased to announce that the county is launching a new integrated service. Starting in October of 2022, the 911 Center will not only support traditional law enforcement and fire EMS services, but will also reach behavioral health professionals when appropriate. Every day, the professional men and women in the 911 Center ensure the right service is provided for each 911 call. This will now include behavioral health support. We are excited to join our neighbors in Baltimore and Washington, D.C., as well as Los Angeles, Phoenix, Harris County, and Travis County, Texas, as we provide these services. I invite you to tune in now to a portion of this training that will explain which calls will be eligible for transfer to the 988 Lifeline, and which calls will still follow a traditional first responder path. Thank you.
Let's examine in more detail how some behavioral health issues can benefit from the 911 to 988 transfer. There is a broad spectrum of qualifying issues, including mental health conditions such as mania, substance use disorders such as addiction, and developmental disorders such as autism. 988 will provide professional support and response to these issues. In all 911 related programs, safety is always a priority. This is why some calls will be excluded from a civilian response. For example, when there is violence, an immediate threat of violence, and/or severe intoxication or injury. In these cases, police and/or EMS will respond as usual. In the initial phase of this program, we will move cautiously, meaning that we will not transfer calls to 988 unless the person is calling on their own behalf. And we will not transfer calls if the caller insists that they need a police or EMS response. Now let's hear from the director of the county's 988 call center.
Hello, my name is Jamison Brill. As the call center director for CCSI, the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline for Prince George's County, we are looking forward to receiving calls transferred from 911, where my team's phone-based services are going to be the best first response. Community Crisis Services has been serving as the county's lifeline since 1970, over 50 years. Our hotline specialists have significant experience in responding to behavioral health distress calls, including calls related to depression, psychosis, developmental disabilities, and suicidal and homicidal thoughts. Usually, we are able to help a person stabilize in place or receive a referral to services that will further support them. When needed, we also send mobile response for immediate support. And in the rare case where a situation is escalating towards imminent danger, we return the call to 911 for police and/or EMS. We encourage both residents and first responders to make use of our phone-based services at 988, and we look forward to being a partner in the 911 ecosystem.